What is up everyone, and welcome to some more F1 23 League Racing, and we are here in the Streamers and Co VRL for round number 8 of Season 3 of this absolutely fantastic league that we are a part of. And it's time for the Chinese Grand Prix, taking a bit of a different approach to most leagues. Most races don't typically happen around China when it comes to other leagues, so yeah, it's a bit of a different one this time. Obviously for me, I'm a little bit more familiar racing in China, having done it in my team career mode for 5 seasons in a row at this point on F1 23. And if those of you who are, long-term fans of the channel, you may know that typically China doesn't go all too well for me. So I'm just hoping to kind of get involved in the mix, try and score a few points, beat Jermaine if we can as well, and that's going to be the target here today. My first flying lap was not particularly good, only a 132, and then we managed to knock it down to a lower 132. Went from a 32.7 to a 32.2 on our second flying lap, but I definitely felt like there was quite a lot of time still left to be saved. I was really struggling to make the braking points work for me. I was finding that I was just not quite braking as late as would have been possible for me to do, because I'm so used to the My Team performance around here. I almost didn't believe that I could get away with braking as late as I could, and that was costing me time here and there. So yeah, as we make our way around the final few corners on our final flying lap, you can see we've actually lost a bit of time to the final corner there. We could have been 2 tenths up, but it's just another 10th improvement, a 132.1, and that, when all is said and done, we'll find out where that is going to be good enough for. It's a 132.1 in P10 initially, but that does get pushed down to P12 at the end of the session. So not my finest qualifying, but hopefully we can go forward in the race, at least into the points. So it is Dustin getting pole there by 1,000th of a second ahead of Ryan and Liam. Liam and Bjarni both within 100th of Dustin and Ryan as well there. So yeah, decent result from them. Anto in P5, not a bad showing from him. Phil getting P6, brand new driver. Ollie in P7. It's Hayden in 8th. Alex in 9th, an uncharacteristically poor qualifying from him, and then Ryan H rounding out the top 10 with Thanos, myself, KK, Jermaine, RC and Mike completing the order there. Hopefully we can make our way through the field now as we're getting into the race itself, and it is actually in fact going to be a little bit of a wet one. Only intermediate tyres will be starting on, but it certainly will provide an interesting strategic battle depending on whether the race stays wet for the entire time. It looks like it might do, to be honest. If you look at the session forecast there, it's looking like there's going to be some rain, at least for a decent chunk of the race. So yeah, I definitely think the strategy could play into it, and I'm going to opt for a 1-stop here. A lot of people think they can get away with a 0-stop on intermediate and wet tyres. You really can't, not around basically any track. And a 1-stop is always going to be faster, because you take so much life out of the tyres that they end up going about 2, 3, 4 seconds slower per lap than a fresh set. Which means if you're doing any more than about 5 or 6 laps on them, it is worth boxing and going on to a new set of tyres. That's always been my philosophy in these wet races, in these intermediate races, and it will continue to be my philosophy here today in the Chinese Grand Prix. So yeah, everyone now had enough time to sort out any setup adjustments they want to make, sort out their strategy, and we can look forward to hopefully a brilliant race here in Shanghai as the lights come on. And the lights go out, and we've had a decent getaway here. I think we're going to be holding position by the looks of things, although we maybe have been ever so slightly faster than Thanos here. KK was thinking about looking for a move. He's had to back out of it. Up the inside of Thanos we go, and now we're going to look up the inside of Hayden here as well, making up 2 positions. Ryan and Phil have touched there, and that has caused Phil to spin out a little bit. We had to back out of it, and as a result we've lost the position to Hayden that we might have been gaining otherwise. But in any case, we've made up 2 positions off the start already. We're going to see now if we can challenge Hayden. He's blocked behind Alex, who's not had a particularly good exit from that corner, and that allows us to put a bit of pressure around the outside of Hayden on the exit of this hairpin as well. And as he puts the power down, you can see he just drops it a little bit there, spins it, goes into the side of us, and well, we actually get a warning for doing that, to which I exclaimed something along the lines of, how on earth could that ever have been my fault? He literally just puts the power down, spins the car, and drops it. So yeah, unfortunate for him, but in any case, it allows us to make up another position. I'm just glad it wasn't worse for us, because there is a situation there where he hits us and it spins us round. So yeah, happy to be making it up into P9. We're up into the points, and hopefully we can hold on to a points finish here. But we do have a few fast drivers behind us still. You know, this Thanos driver, he is new to the league today, along with Ollie as well, 2 new drivers. Big shout outs to Ollie and the Haas, somebody who actually found the league through these videos, which is absolutely amazing to me. So yeah, I'll be really excited to see what kind of pace he can show. Hopefully these videos will have attracted somebody actually somewhat fast and good at the game, but we will see. Right now he's battling away here with Alex and Ryan H, so we'll see who wins out in this fight. It's 3 wide going into the final corner, and they've all kind of held each other up a little bit. You can see that Ollie and Alex have got a pretty poor exit from the corner result from that. Ryan had to slow down to let them back through because he, I guess, got an illegal overtake for going off the track. And as a result, we're now challenging Alex up the inside. We try and switch back a little bit on him to get the move done. And effectively, in the space of just a couple of corners, we're going to be making up 3 positions here from P9 to P6 if we can stay ahead of Alex here. Burning a lot of battery. We've burnt a hell of a lot of battery so far to stay ahead, and Alex tries to dive bomb us around the outside, but he goes too deep into the corner. See you later, buddy. And we make our way up into P6, confirmed now. This has been a really strong start to the race for us, and hopefully we can continue making our way forward to try and catch up with our teammate, who is currently 2.8 seconds up the road from us. However, we will have to wait a little bit because the virtual safety car has been brought out. That was due to an incident involving Alex and Ryan H and Thanos. The 3 of them tried going 3 wide round those fast left-right-handers, and it just didn't work out. I think Alex ended up spinning round, and he's lost quite a few positions as a result of that. However, we do kind of manage to get a pretty good restart. Unfortunately, the flag went green pretty much exactly as we were going through the corner, so it could have been a lot better for us. Anto managed to catch Bjarni napping a bit there, and he's made his way up into P4 ourselves, still in P6, but a little bit closer to Anto and Bjarni now than we were before, and hopefully we can continue closing this gap to my teammate and the Faroese driver just behind him as well. This would be a really good result for us. Finishing P6 would be our best result of the season so far if we can stay here. However, you know, that is entirely predicated on whether the rain feels like sticking around for the entire duration of the race. If the rain goes away, I would say that probably reduces any chance we're going to have of closing this one out. But you never know. Things could still potentially work out for us. In any case, you can see now that that Ollie is definitely a little bit closer to us than he was before. We try and brake as late as we can into the corner, and this time it doesn't work out quite as well for us. We end up outbraking ourselves a little bit. That's going to allow Ollie to get really close to us now, and you can see on the back of us he's potentially going to look for a bit of a move as we go on the run into lap 4, and yeah, you can see he's just had a better exit from the corner there in that Haas. And well, if he's faster than me, that means he's definitely got the pace to be in the league. So yeah, definitely a good showing from the rookie, the debutant here today in China, and position lost for us unfortunately as a result of it. But you know, fair play. Hopefully we can keep going, and hopefully we can hold on to at least the position we're in now. We did gain a position back as a result of Liam having to come into the pits to maybe change a front wing or something. Not quite sure what happened with him, but in any case, we are going to eventually lose the position once again as Thanos is now going to go for a move on us up the inside and into P6. Another debutant here in China. Both of them having a pretty good race so far, you'd have to say, and we'll see where the 2 of them finish. Now we've got Ryan H for company behind. He's going to be the next person to try and put pressure on me, so hopefully we can keep him behind. Now they were suggesting a strategy change, and I thought it was going to be to go on to dries, but actually it's to go on to another set of intermediates on lap 9 now. I guess I'm wearing these tyres out a bit faster than they thought I would be, and so they're suggesting that I should come in a little bit earlier than planned. However, I don't think we're a million miles away from dry conditions here either, because you can see that the rain has basically stopped at this point. Only a few drops here now. The track is still a touch damp. There's some spray being kicked up, but it is very quickly drying out. So I made the decision that the next set of tyres I'm going on to, whenever that may be, it is going to be a set of mediums. I'm going to go on to the end of the race, I think, because I think that will be the optimal strategy here. Hopefully maybe we'll be able to get a jump on some of the cars ahead of us strategy-wise, and you know, beat them out for position, maybe pull off a little bit of a sort of undercut, if you will. But we're definitely not going to be pulling anything over Ryan H at the moment, as he's just made a move up into P7. We're down to P8 now, and we just keep falling down the order. I don't know what's going on, but the pace not there for me today in China, it seems. Some of these races I'm somewhat fast at compared to the drivers around me. This is not one of those days, unfortunately, and we're just losing position after position after position. But yeah, hopefully things can stabilise a little bit. As we make our way towards the end of lap 7 now, you can see we were putting a little bit of pressure on Brian, who defends to the inside of the hairpin there. And we actually try and attempt a little bit of a switchback on him as he goes deep, but ultimately it doesn't really make much of a difference because we are going to be pitting at the end of this lap. Ryan opts to stay out, as do all of the top 7 for that matter. However, both Alex and Phil coming in behind us here, as well as KK, who to my knowledge has binned it into the pit wall there. So effectively his opportunity has kind of gotten away from him a little bit here. RC coming into the pit lane as well, but everyone else in front of us opting to stay out, as well as Liam too. So this could present us with a real opportunity with the safety car being called. If it had been called like ever so slightly earlier, I think that would have been the optimal situation, especially considering the Delta will still be in force as the rest of these cars come round. So realistically, there's not going to be too much that we're going to gain here. We do gain 1 position on Ryan H, but other than that, we don't gain too drastically. Only P7. If things had worked out slightly differently there, then maybe we could have got ahead of the likes of Thanos and Bjarni and maybe even all of them, who knows. But as things stand, we are going to be P7, and now we're just going to have to do what we can to try and challenge them as we resume now on lap 11. But we're actually closer to Alex behind than we are to Thanos in front, so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Alex looks for a bit of a move on us. We know how rapid he can be on occasion, and hopefully we don't come under too much pressure from him from now to the end of the race. If he is going to overtake us, hopefully he just does it nice and quickly. He will openly admit that China is not one of his strongest tracks on the calendar, and as a result I actually felt like there was an opportunity for me to keep him behind, but unfortunately for me, China's not one of my strongest tracks on the calendar either, and so yeah, just coming under quite a lot of pressure from the Ferrari driver, it would seem. And eventually through these sort of slightly slower left-handers, these medium-speed left-handers, you can see that Alex just had the superior pace over me on the run into this sort of, I call this the Max Chilton section, but I don't really know where it came from. Alex eventually getting ahead of us, Ryan H looking for a move as well. It forces us to go a bit wide and over the curb, and that means we lose a position to Liam, and not only to Liam, but also to Phil as well. So we fall down into P11 and out of the points now. We're going to see if we can put a challenge on Phil, but they just have so much straight line speed compared to us that I can't stay with them no matter how hard I try. I tried to bait Phil into defending to the inside, but unfortunately he's not a My Team career mode AI, so he wasn't going to go for that, and we fall down into P11, and we're going to have to try and fight pretty hard now to get back into the points. We've got Hayden for company behind as we make our way onto lap 12, but he's got a drive-through penalty, so I wasn't really going to fight him particularly hard. I'm sure he was probably, I'm sure he was probably burning a lot of battery, but actually you can see there he's actually harvesting battery, so I have no idea how he was so much faster than us in a straight line. But he makes his way up into P11. It's not going to matter because he is going to be coming through for that drive-through penalty, and yeah, that will be probably him out of contention to get points in this race. Still, we have a chance of doing it. There'll be a few penalties applied ahead, I'm sure, and that will be, you know, just about everything that we can hope for to get ourselves back in the points. In terms of the pace of the cars behind, as long as we can keep the likes of RC, Jermaine, and I believe Mike is the other driver that we haven't mentioned behind, as long as we can keep these guys behind, I'd say we have a pretty good chance of scoring points here today. And I would love to tell you that something more interesting happened for the remainder of the race, but no, we just settled into a bit of a rhythm, a bit of a no man's land. RC did look like he might threaten us on some occasions, but on lap 16 here you can see he's still outside of my DRS range, and there were only a few instances where he very narrowly broke into that DRS range. I'm talking like, you know, he was maybe 0.8, 0.9 seconds behind for a couple of corners or something like that, but never in the DRS zone. We never looked like we were going to get overtaken by him. He never mounted any kind of challenge on us or anything like that, because we just had you know, a pretty good setup through the corners, which enabled us to keep him behind for the duration of the race. So yeah, things working out quite nicely for us here in this Chinese Grand Prix. in terms of maintaining the pace and the gap to the cars behind. However, it is going to be finishing outside of the points unless something pretty drastic happens on this final lap. However, there was another narrative for Alpine emerging in this race, and that is that after 3 seasons racing in Streamers & Co, almost 3 seasons, 2.5 seasons to be precise, there are only a few drivers who've been in it the whole time who've yet to register a race win, and by far the fastest of those drivers is my teammate, the legendary Anto, who I believe has been with Alpine the entire time as well. He is the resident Alpine French driver, and well, things might just be looking up for him now, as we're about to see. He's going to cross the line to take the victory here in Shanghai, take his first victory in Streamers & Co, and I'm sure that he'll be very, very pleased with that. I'm absolutely chuffed for him. You know, he's a really fast driver on his day. He's had countless podiums across these 3 seasons as well, and finally he picks up a victory. For us, we're going to round the final corner to take P11. However, it doesn't really matter because there were a few penalties to be applied to some of the drivers further ahead, including Ryan H, and Captain Liam actually got quite a few penalties as well. So in the end, it promoted us up to P9 once those penalties were applied. P11 on track, P9 with penalties applied, and yeah, it was a couple more points to add to our tally. And if we keep doing that over the course of the whole season, then we should outscore Jermaine. All we got to keep doing is just keep outscoring Jermaine by 2 points every race for the remainder of the season, and we will finish ahead of him come the conclusion of the season, which will be in Abu Dhabi this season. We've got 4 more races left to go in Zandvoort, Australia, Bahrain, and Abu Dhabi. So hopefully all of those races will go well for us, and we can continue to outscore Jermaine as we've done here. This is not what the podium actually was once penalties were applied. Ryan got a 5-second penalty, which pushed him down the order a little bit. So it's actually Anto from Dustin from Bjarni who finishes on the podium in place of his teammate. Then there was Ollie who got P4. Alex got promoted up to P5 with penalties. Then it was Ryan McLean in P6. And then Thanos, Phil, myself, Liam rounded out the top 10 in P10, and then it was Ryan H, RC, Jermaine, and Mike, the last of the finishers, and then Hayden and KK DNF'd due to various issues that happened to them throughout the race. Like I said, next up will be Zandvoort, but that is going to be it for this video. So if you enjoyed, please make sure you like and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.